Diana Taurasi, a name synonymous with greatness in women's basketball, has earned her spot as one of the sport's all-time legends. With 3 NCAA championships, 3 WNBA titles, and the honor of being the WNBA's all-time leading scorer, she's the player young athletes dream of emulating. But when Caitlin Clark, a rising star dubbed the future of women's basketball, burst onto the scene, things took a dramatic turn. Clark has repeatedly acknowledged her respect for Taurasi, calling her one of the first players she idolized while growing up. Despite this, Taurasi's reaction to Clark's meteoric rise wasn't the welcoming mentorship many fans hoped for. Instead, it was an outright rejection of Clark's accomplishments, sparking controversy across the basketball world. Taurasi's approach, tough love or something else? Taurasi has long been known for her tough love approach with newcomers. She
was probably one of the first women's basketball players I really grew up idolizing and really knowing. Obviously her, Sue, Maya. So I would say that's kind of my first memory. It's just about the WNBA in general. It's she was one of the first that I really knew about.
During a live stream with Sue Bird that she takes a ruthless stance against rookies, aiming to break them both mentally and physically before they even step on the court. "When you're a rookie, my job is to effing kill you," Taurasi declared, making it clear she sees herself as the gatekeeper of the league. But her treatment of Caitlin Clark felt different, more like a targeted effort to diminish the young star's achievements than the usual veteran test of resilience.
Reality is coming. There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it, and you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
When asked who she'd pick first in a draft, Taurasi didn't hesitate to say Paige Bueckers, a fellow UConn alum, over Clark, despite Clark's record-breaking performances in college. Taurasi offered little justification for her choice, leaving fans to wonder whether it was personal or simply loyalty to her alma mater. The Team USA snub. The tension reached a boiling point when Caitlin Clark was controversially excluded from the Team USA roster, a move that left many scratching their heads. Taurasi, who was selected to the national team immediately after her own college career, didn't hold back her opinion, casting doubt on Clark's readiness and credentials. For fans and analysts, Taurasi's stance wasn't about constructive criticism or tough love. It seemed like a desperate bid to maintain her relevance in a league increasingly captivated by a younger generation. Her dismissive attitude toward Clark, paired with her public comments, came across as a calculated attempt to overshadow the
second page. Next question.
So you get the #1 pick this year, you would take Paige over Caitlin?
Absolutely.
clash of generations. While Taurasi continues to cement her legacy, Caitlin Clark represents the next wave of women's basketball. With her electrifying playstyle, deep-range shooting, and ability to capture audiences, Clark has already become a household name. Instead of celebrating the growth of the game and embracing Clark as the next torchbearer, Taurasi's actions have exposed an insecurity that's rare for someone of her stature. Fans, meanwhile, are left wondering why a player so accomplished would feel the need to tear down the next generation. This feud isn't just about two players, it's a reflection of a league at a crossroads, where the old guard and the new wave must find a way to coexist. As Caitlin Clark continues to rise, the spotlight is shifting, and the question remains, can
you were young yourself, and tell me if I'm wrong, weren't you named to the roster as soon as you graduated, right? You were young.
Yeah, after I won 3 national championships in a row, I was named.
Will her legacy be overshadowed by the pettiness of her actions? The answer may well define the future of women's basketball. #### a new era in basketball, Caitlin Clark vs. Diana Taurasi. Basketball is witnessing a generational shift, and nowhere is that more evident than in the comparisons between Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi. While Taurasi's legendary college career saw her average 15 points per game, Clark has been rewriting history with jaw-dropping 30-point performances and shattered scoring records. It's no surprise the focus of fans and analysts has shifted toward Clark as the face of the future. Taurasi's war of words with Clark earlier this year only added fuel to the fire, keeping the tension alive as fans eagerly awaited their June 30th showdown. This wasn't just any game, it was a clash of eras, a spectacle that sold out with tickets hitting astronomical prices of $22,000 each. The stage was set, and the arena buzzed with anticipation. The showdown. When the Indiana Fever faced the Phoenix Mercury,
to the WNBA, Diana Taurasi, one of the best hoopers in basketball history. You can argue with your mama. There is no debating her on-court impact. There was plenty debate over her off-court comments in April about Iowa star Caitlin Clark that had them both in the headlines and seemingly in the crosshairs of the old guard fans and the new wave masses. The GOAT And the Rook will square off for the first time this afternoon.
Taurasi and her longtime partner in dominance Brittany Griner came out strong, leading their team to a comfortable 15-point advantage. But in basketball, momentum can shift in an instant. And that's exactly what happened when Caitlin Clark found her groove. Clark caught fire, turning the tide with a relentless offensive assault. As her scoring spree heated up, one glaring fact became clear: Taurasi was avoiding a direct confrontation. Instead of rising to the challenge, the veteran left her teammates to fend off Clark on their own. It was a stunning move from a player celebrated for her competitive spirit. Fans expecting a clash of titans were left disappointed as Taurasi's icy shooting, 5 for 14 from the field, stood in stark contrast to Clark's explosive performance, 15 points, 12 assists, and a flurry of game-changing plays. The Fever didn't just win that night. They dominated the Mercury in their next 2 matchups, with Clark delivering back-to-back statement games, including a 29-point, 10-assist performance. What made these victories even sweeter for Clark? Her Fever ended the season with a better record than Taurasi's Mercury, sparking speculation that Taurasi's time in the league might be nearing its end. Revenge against Cheryl Reeve. Caitlin Clark's grudge matches didn't stop with Taurasi. Minnesota Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve, who also heads the U.S. women's national team, controversially left Clark off the USA roster. While Clark downplayed the snub publicly, insiders hinted that she took it personally, and it showed on the court. Facing the Lynx, Clark struggled early, with Minnesota's top-tier defense holding her to a rough shooting night. But in true Clark fashion, she flipped the script in the fourth quarter, igniting a comeback that stunned Reeve and the crowd. Her resilience and fire turned what seemed like a certain loss into a thrilling victory. A legacy in the making. Caitlin Clark has quickly become one of the most electrifying players in basketball. Her dominance over Diana Taurasi and her revenge against Cheryl Reeve are just chapters in a larger story of a star who refuses to be overshadowed. While Taurasi's legacy as one of the game's greats is secure, Clark's rise signals that a new generation is here to redefine women's basketball. As the torch begins to pass, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark isn't just competing, she's changing the game. Fans of all generations should celebrate the thrilling battles and the incredible talent pushing the sport to new heights. Timberwolves comeback stuns the crowd. With a 7-point deficit looming at the start of the fourth quarter, it looked like Caitlin Clark and her team were headed for an unexpected loss. But just when the game seemed to slip away, everything changed. Clark sparked a thrilling rally that turned the Target Center into her own stage. The 1-seed Minnesota Lynx, heavily favored to win, watched in disbelief as Clark energized the crowd and stared down coach Cheryl Reeve, daring her to respond. The atmosphere was electric, the arena more packed than it had been since the Western Conference Finals. Even on a night when her shots weren't falling, Clark made an impact in every other way, distributing crucial passes, locking in defensively, and showing the grit needed to pull off a shocking upset. By the end, Coach Reeve could only nod in respect at Clark's relentless effort. For the Timberwolves, games like this are what sell tickets. Players like Caitlin Clark and rising stars across the league are turning women's basketball.
But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side. I mean,
I'll get 2 shits.
How about 1?
Not even 1 shit.
All into must-see entertainment. The Caitlin Clark effect. Despite the buzz around Clark, some analysts still don't seem to understand her impact. ESPN's Molly Karam, a regular on First Take, is often criticized for her takes, particularly when it comes to meaningful basketball analysis. Fans and critics alike question her credibility, with many pointing to her recent downplaying of Clark's achievements as another misstep. Molly's remarks, which appeared to favor other players at Clark's expense, didn't sit well with fans. They see Clark's accomplishments, like draining logo threes and leading her team to victory, as undeniable. The backlash against Molly has only grown louder as Clark's star continues to rise.
Plantar fasciitis, but her team is beating
Elevating women's basketball. The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers is one of the most exciting narratives in women's basketball. While some compare the two to diminish one or the other, true fans understand the importance of celebrating both. Clark and Bueckers are poised to be among the best players in the world, and their competition fuels the growth of the sport. Instead of tearing one down, we should embrace their brilliance. This mutual recognition and respect will help elevate women's basketball and the WNBA to new heights. If you're enjoying this deep dive into women's basketball, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis coming your way. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth stories
that people come to see, right? So when the Wolves sell tickets, there are certain games that they know people are going to come watch certain players. Caitlin Clark and some of the other rookies give us that. Obviously, Caitlin, being the headliner.
Analysis. Stay tuned for updates on your favorite players, epic matchups, and all the drama shaping the world of basketball. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Subscribe now. Basketball Sparkles.